Hello and welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thank you for joining us. This week we were in the pretty planet with the rings and talking about comets and asteroids and all the fun things that kind of fly around. We had a great week. It was a lot of fun. We were very busy, but we managed to do all the things.
We did.
We're going to start with Saturn.
So, as I said on the last video, this is one of those, this is a seedlings book. This is for very early elementary kids.
Very young, yeah.
Yes, it's got big, large words. These books are all kind of the same. There isn't a lot about Saturn, and the same thing you'll notice when we get to Uranus and Neptune. There's just not a lot of books about them. Mm-hmm. So actually we pivoted and we looked more into our Mysteries of the Universe books. So I would say skip books like these, go for this. This was wonderful. This book is so lovely.
We have it marked already where we are
Yeah,
now.
here it is.
Yep,
Oh, Saturn.
There we go.
It gives this huge spread on Saturn. It even talks about individual moons of Saturn and it talks all about the rings. It's done in just the right amount of detail for elementary.
Oh yeah, hexagonal polar regions.
This has more information in this book than a book about Saturn. So I would absolutely go, yeah, here's Titan.
By Titan.
So we really read this and leaned into this. This Mysteries of the Universe book is gorgeous. Yeah. I highly recommend it. Yeah, here's another one of the moons of Saturn.
And one of the ice moons.
So I think you can kind of avoid getting those individual books and go with something like this. I liked this.
There may also be some tabletop books, pictures for the Cassini probe. That went to Saturn, and they may have some beautiful images there as well. And then there was the Huygens probe that came off of that went into Titan. And there may be some information on that as well.
There's good videos about those too. Mm-hmm. What I like about this book, as opposed to like we have that space exclamation point encyclopedia, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. That's a very busy book, right? It's got a picture of Saturn. It's got all these little bubbles all over the place. What I like about this is that every spread has a focus. Like we're going to focus on Titan. And this is going to be just this information about this with a beautiful picture. And then the next page, we're going to focus on something else. Mm-hmm. So I think the other book is great for deeper knowledge and for like, okay, here's everything all at once and it's kind of busy. This was a better read through.
It was.
So I loved having like 5 solid pages about Saturn in here. It was worth more than getting a book about Saturn. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much if your library doesn't have much, especially about these outer planets. Use books like this because it was fantastic.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
So that's my plug for Mysteries of the Universe.
Comets and Asteroids Explore.
So this is a good book. This has got lots of information about comets and asteroids. This is definitely for upper elementary kids, but it also has 25 activities in here. So you can pick one of the activities to do. There's lots of cool demos and things that are in this book. So that's what's great about it. We didn't have time to do any of the exploration this week. We were swamped. But this would be a good one, especially if you're looking for some fun hands-on things to do.
Yep, absolutely. Great idea. So, Comet Chaser. This
is really cool. This is the story of, I don't know if it's the first, it does say the first woman astronomer, the first professional woman astronomer. Yeah. This is really neat because it's a brother and sister team and all the discoveries they made, but she kept going after this comet, and she found the number of discoveries that were attributed to her at the time. And this was during the reign of King George III. And so he was very into astronomy, and he had sponsored her brother, and then eventually saw, you know, what an amazing astronomer she was in her own right. And he began to pay her to also be a royal astronomer. So she was the first like professionally paid woman astronomer. So it's kind of cool because it's a good biopic. I'd say it's a little bit long, so I wouldn't use it for earlier elementary kids, but it was really good and interesting. So I think if you want to cover that, that would be nice.
Talking about Halley's Comet, hopefully we'll be around for it when it comes back. We were too young to realize it when it came in the 80s, but the cosmic wonder about Halley's Comet.
Yeah, so this is about Halley's Comet, and it's kind of cute because it talks about, and you kind of show, it's got good, really nice artwork, and it talks about from the kind of the beginning of man and all as it goes through time, and Halley's Comet keeps coming back around, and the changes that civilization has undergone as the comet has come and gone. So it's really cute. We liked it. We didn't like it quite as much as Comet Chaser, but it was really great. So, or if you can find another book on Halley's Comet, that would also be a good pickup.
Jupiter reminded me of one of my favorite books. I highly recommend this to any, I would say, upper elementary.
You mean Saturn?
Yeah. No. But Jupiter last week reminded me of this, and I wanted to mention it this week because it's one of my favorites by Heinlein called "Farmer in the Sky," and you can see I have a very loved and tattered story. It's set on Ganymede. So if you're looking about moons, if you're thinking about moons, Jupiter and Saturn have a ton of moons, really big ones. I love this book. It's a story about father-son going to Ganymede and farming and trying to survive, and it's a lot of fun things. It's everything I love.
Would that be okay for middle school or maybe?
Easy, middle school, high school, absolutely. Heinlein writes very clean in most of his stuff, especially with this more YA focused, I would say down to middle school, and you could probably even read this to an upper elementary school student as well. Farmer in the Sky, get a tattered copy, put it on your shelf, you'll love it. I love this book. I just wanted to mention this one as well.
Yes.
You guys also played Space Mountain, Disney.
Yeah, this is a really fun one. This is from Ravensburger, and you're basically traveling around.
And we have a bunch of these for all the various rides.
All the rides, yeah. When we were preparing to go to Disney World, we got all the ones for the different rides. But it's really fun. So you basically have a board where you're traveling through space, and you're going to be, each of these ends up being different types of space objects, asteroids and things that you're trying to collect. You're trying to pick them up, and there's fuel that you're using, and there's some push your luck element to dice rolling and stuff. It's really fun. We really like it. You've got your little rocket ships that you move around. So it's cool. I think it says 8+, and that's about right. Our 6-year-old, actually, I think she won. She tends to win these games when it says that the minimum age is older than her. Yeah. She tends to win. But I think that's about right. She wasn't exactly sure what she was doing the whole time, but she won. So we had a good time with it. Absolutely. It was quite fun.
Absolutely. So. The girls also had an opportunity to watch Planet 51. Now that's not related to Saturn.
No, we didn't watch it with them, but they sure enjoyed it when they watched it.
They did.
And then we watched Titan AE, which is with Matt Damon and Drew Barrymore and a few other famous people. I can't think of, maybe Bill Pullman.
It was 80, late 90s, right? Early 2000s,
yeah,
somewhere in that range.
Like
yeah,
that.
Turn of the millennium.
It was the same animator that did Thumbelina and a few others. You totally recognize the animation style when you see it. You're like, wait a second.
It's like the rotoscoping, I think.
There's been a lot of that same style.
Yeah.
So the thing about this is, it is animated, but it's not really for kids. I mean, there was a few, it was like all of a sudden it was like, whoa, there's a butt. You know, it was like, there was just some things I wasn't expecting, and there was a bit more language. By the time I realized it wasn't really a kid's movie, we had kind of gotten through all the bad parts. So we finished it, and our kids really enjoyed it. They thought it was really good.
Any worse than The Martian?
No, it wasn't any worse than The Martian for us. But just know that it is animated, but run it through Common Sense Media or something before you watch it with your kids to make sure that you're comfortable with it, because I had a few surprises in there. I was like, I didn't know we were doing this. I thought it was animated, but I think it was one of those early forays into adult animation and trying to make an adult adventure story. There's nothing too egregious, but I was a little bit surprised. Yeah. But that was kind of a fun one. And then there was another one we were going to watch. Remember you were talking about, it's the Chinese movie. Is that where they fly the Earth to Jupiter? Is that what it was?
They turn the. I'll find it and I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Because I remember we watched it and it was good.
Yeah, but it was maybe more for adults. And basically they turn all of Earth into a giant spaceship, and these rockets are pushing essentially all of Earth out of orbit. There's some issue with them. With the sun, and it's expanding, and it's going to melt the planet. So they have to push it out. And what happens is Earth gets really cold because of that, and all that type of stuff. It was a Chinese movie.
They were going to Jupiter, weren't they?
They were going further out into into orbit, and they're trying to push the whole planet, as if that wouldn't have disrupted a million things. Yeah. But I watched these YouTube shorts, and I'll put a link to them in the show notes. I promise. Yeah, I see you commenters. I try to put all the links in the show notes. About this guy, and he gets posed questions like, hey, make Jupiter twice as large, what would happen to the solar system? And it's like a physics engine, and he shows all the planets, and all of a sudden everything starts moving because the gravity is too much, and it starts pushing this way or pulling this way. And I'll put that in the show notes. It's a really cool thing, as if moving Earth out of its orbit wouldn't disrupt all these various things. So if you watch those little YouTube shorts, you'll really see how crazy that movie is. But I'll put a link to the movie down below, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of it was, but I remember watching it a couple of years ago, and it was very fun.
So, and as we get to the kind of outer bounds of our solar system here, as we're pushing this limit too, another adult book and show combo wanted to mention was Leviathan Wakes, which is the show The Expanse, which is on Prime and has 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah, we read it with the husband-wife book club.
We did.
A couple years ago.
It's actually a really good book.
It's a perfect book for a husband-wife book club because each chapter is like 20 minutes of reading, and it's like you can just knock out one a day and
the
one every other day.
first season of the show follows along with the first book really well.
Really lockstep. It's really good.
So actually, the first couple of seasons do. So you can kind of like read and watch and read and watch.
I think it's like 7 or 8 books in the whole series, and there's some like intermediate, like in between books that they release. It's Corey, I believe, is the last name. James R. Corey or whatever. It's actually 2 writers writing together when they write the book. They write together on it, and so it's actually 2 authors writing under a pen name, and I think it's some combo of their initials or something. So
but that's a really good one, and it's all set in our solar system, and so
asteroid belt and beyond.
So it's pretty cool. So if you want to read something as we're getting further in, and you want something that'll last you probably through the rest of this study, that would be a good one to start.
Absolutely.
And you can start watching The Expanse.
Absolutely. So where are we going next week?
So next week we're going to be doing Neptune, Uranus, and space telescopes and observatories and learning about those.
Absolutely.
So
it's going to be a good one.
Fun.